We running long?
Alright, so I'm very new to Philly and just moved here in August, and so found out my brother and I don't really need a car since we take public transportation, so we decided to sell his car, which is a whole other story, but we're talking about a journey. So we finally find somebody to sell the car, and guy decides he's going to come Friday, and we need to go to some place to transfer the title. And so he shows up Friday, and he tells me, hey, let's find a place to search where we can transfer the title. And so I pick out 3 places. He shows up, gives me a call on my cell. I head down, and I'm like, all right, what do we need? He's like, get the title. I'm like, okay. So I rush over to the car, and I get the title. You guys should be thinking, why do you get the title in the car? That's going to come into play later. So I get the title, and we get in the car, and I got the first address, and it's like, all right, let's go right here. So let's start driving, and I'm like, let's just park right here. We're on Girard. I think it's a little farther down. Just park right here because I don't know what parking's like because I'm new to Philly. So park right here. We start walking down the street, and I'm like, where the hell is this place? And I'm like, all right, let's start walking back. So we must have walked like 2 blocks all the way up from where we parked, and we couldn't find the place. We get almost back to the car, and it's like, all right, here's the number, but this auto tag place doesn't even exist. It's not even there. It's like hair salon. So that's not even the place. And did I mention that this guy brought his wife and his daughter with him too? So he's carrying them. They're following us, and all right, so we're not even at the right place. What's the next place? Oh, it's 2 blocks up. That's just where we walked. So let's get back into the car, and let's drive all the way back up there. And so we drive all the way up, and we look at this place, and just as I'm about to walk into the door, they lock the door. And it's 10 minutes before it closes. I think it's like 5:50 at this point. And they lock the door, and I'm like, hello? We want in? No, they're closed. So I look at my 3rd address, and he's like, wait, there's a place right across the street. I'm like, oh, all right, we'll just go right across the street. So we walk right across the street, and we walk in, and the lady says, oh, my boss just left. He's the guy who does the notaries. So we can't go there either. So it's like, all right, what do we do? He says, my bank, TD Bank, they do notary services. So I'm like, all right, I'll look up TD Bank on my phone, and it's like, all right, I found one. So we start driving up the street. That's an ATM. That we can't go there either. Just when you think things can get worse, they keep getting worse. That's the whole point of this story. So, all right, at this point I'm like, dude, don't even let me give you directions. You decide where you want to go. So he's like, all right, there's a TD Bank down in inner city. We'll go there. So we're driving, and I'm looking up stuff just to try to back up because things are already going bad. So we end up at this TD Bank, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and finally he points out some lady and says, hey, we were next. So we go there, and she says, what do you guys need to do? And it's like, we want to do a title transfer. She's like, oh, we don't do title transfers. Yep, it keeps getting worse. And this is at the point where I realized I don't actually have the title. I went in the car, and I pulled out the insurance and the owner's card. I don't actually have the title at this point. So we're driving all around, and I don't even have the title. So it's like, all right, dude, we need to drive all the way back to my house. Here it is. I think it's like maybe almost 7 o'clock. So we got 20 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I got this one place we can definitely go to. It's going to be open by 7. It's still going to be open. So we drive all the way up, and while we're driving, I realize, oh, this place that's open by 7 o'clock, this is the place we already went to where the lady said, yeah, my boss isn't here, so I can't go to that place either. So we go get the title, and he's talking to somebody, and we decide to drive around, and no place is open. So here it is, Friday, and nothing happened. Things couldn't have been, when things get bad, they get real bad. And so, eventually, we schedule for Monday, and we actually did run into another snag, but we did eventually change the exchange the title. And I even said, I feel horrible that you had to go through all this. I'm gonna take $50 off the price because you drove up from Wilmington. He's like, no, dude, it's cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So, no matter how bad things get, there is that light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually, in retrospect, it was funny, but at the time it was just awful. But eventually, there is that light at the end of the tunnel, and things will get better. So it's fine.